Good afternoon, everyone. I just wanted to let you know that we'll be starting our webinar soon. Good afternoon. My name is Tara Cox, and I'm one of the LiveWELL teammates. And today we will be having a webinar on getting started with weight loss. Again, I'm Tara Cox. I'm a registered dietitian. And today's webinar will count for the health incentive towards your personal health goal. At the end of the webinar, we will identify the steps to help you get that incentive. So please make sure to stay online until the end. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about weight loss. What are some of your concerns around weight? What are some of the benefits of weight loss? What's motivating you to lose weight right now? And what route will you take to lose weight? Nutrition, exercise, or maybe a combination of both? Those are the objectives that we'll cover in today's presentation. There will also be at the end an opportunity for you to create a SMART goal. So be thinking about what you want to focus on in terms of behavior change as we go through our discussion. And we'll also identify some accountability and support systems for you through the LiveWELL program. So currently, Americans, over 1/3 of Americans are considered obese. And if you look at with men and women over the age of 40, that number increases to 40 to 40, almost 45%. And obesity is defined as a BMI of 30 or above, which means that you have about 30 or more pounds to lose. And when you do have more than 30 pounds to lose, that does increase your risk of type 2 diabetes by as much as 7 times. The good news is that modest weight loss and moderate exercise can actually reduce your risk of developing diabetes, even if you're already pre-diabetic. And we also offer many resources on our website to further assist you in your weight loss journey. So let's talk about the benefits of weight loss. So health risk is one reason to lose weight, but the truth is that weight management has far from simple in today's world. There are many factors that influence weight and lead to obesity. Culture, physiology, environment, physical activity, and they all impact us each in a different way. While there is no simple answer, you can be successful. But here are a few areas of health that will actually be benefited by modest weight loss. It can reduce your risk of chronic conditions, but it can also improve your lab values as well. So what is your motivation? And that can be different for everyone. Some people want to lose weight because they want to feel better about themselves. Others have true health concerns that are associated with it. Maybe you want to be a good example for your children and your grandchildren, or you want to extend your longevity so that you can be around for them. Or maybe you just want to challenge yourself to achieve that goal. But motivation is personal, and I really want you to take a moment to think about what makes it important right now for you to focus on weight loss. It's best to write it down. That's helpful to help you stay focused. And remember that that could change over time. So if you need to add to it, if you need to change that motivation, then feel free to do so. But motivation is the key to success, and it'll help you through the ups and downs of the weight loss process. Another thing to consider before you start your weight loss journey is to determine your readiness for change. So I want you to take a moment right now to rate your readiness for weight loss on a scale of 1 to 10. 1 would be not ready at all, and 10 would be ready to start. As you think about that, consider your willingness to commit to long-term lifestyle changes, your willingness to reserve time. Do you have any big life distractions or big life events that are coming up that might get in the way? And are you ready to persevere through the process? Okay, now that you have that number between 1 and 10 in your mind, if you have a motivation rate level above 7, then now's a great time to consider focusing on weight loss. Sounds like your motivation is high. Now, if your motivation score was 7 or below, then maybe you want to reconsider moving forward with a weight loss goal right now. Consider maybe a weight maintenance goal, because maintaining weight is actually a challenge in our society today. Americans typically gain weight between the ages of 20 and 40. So weight maintenance is a perfectly good goal to have. And how much weight do you want to lose? Now that question, the answer to that question is different for everyone. Some people have 30 pounds to lose, some people have more or less. But the good news is that if your goal or if your motivation is health benefits, modest weight loss can actually lead to reduced health risks. So an initial weight loss target of 5 to 7% of your initial weight is actually a great place to start. So an example of that is if somebody is 200 pounds and they wanted to lose 5% of their weight, then that would be 10 pounds. And that seems a lot more achievable or less monumental than maybe the 30 or 60 pound long-term goal that you might have. Now let's talk about how you will lose weight, because weight loss is a target, but you have to change your behaviors in order to reach that target. One of the main behaviors that you want to look at is diet. And you have to figure out what type of a food plan and what type of foods will work for you. What can you stick with over the long term? Because it's really about a lifestyle change rather than diet. And diet is kind of a bad word or a buzzword, but really it's just a pattern of eating. So these different eating patterns have actually, the research has shown that all of these have been beneficial for weight loss. And these are actually the top diet trends for 2020. Now, thinking about trends, research actually, one of the big trends right now is the low carb diet. It's come and gone throughout the years. But research shows that low fat and low carb approaches to weight loss lead to roughly the same results after a year. Okay, so maybe with the low fat diet, you might see an initial loss that's greater, but the gain over the year or the slowing down of that rate of weight loss will result in the same weight loss at the end of the year. The reality is that you'll likely need to reduce both fat and carbohydrate to be successful. And you want to focus on small amounts of quality, nutritious carbs and healthy fats in your diet meal pattern. So not all carbs and not all fats are created equal. Focus on carbohydrates that are high in fiber and nutrition and unprocessed, and focus on healthy fats like omega-3 fatty acid rich olive oil, walnuts, for heart health. But the good news is that the research shows that there is no perfect plan. So whether you're a vegetarian, whether you like the Mediterranean diet, maybe you're somebody who likes volumetrics and high fiber foods, but all of them can lead to weight loss success. The most important thing to remember is to go for a whole real food diet that's health promoting and a balanced eating approach. Try to be consistent with your meal times. Consider doing 3 meals a day and maybe 1 to 2 small snacks if that's an eating pattern that works for you. And remember to always still include the foods that you love. So whether that's sweets or cultural foods, traditional foods, even if they are high calorie, they can be enjoyed in moderation. So just either modify the way you prepare them or reduce the portion size of those foods. Okay, so focusing on a healthier pattern of foods with real whole foods. What that looks like, you want to eat more vegetables and fruits every day. In fact, the goal there is a minimum of 5 servings of fruits and vegetables combined per day. And just as a reference point, a serving size for vegetables is about a half cup if it's cooked and a cup if it's raw. And fruit, about the size of a tennis ball, would be considered a serving. Try to focus on less refined starches and grains. So less of the white rice and the processed pasta and the white bread, and modest amounts of whole grains instead. Choose lean proteins as much as possible. Things like low-fat dairy fall into that category. So low-fat yogurt or low-fat milk, actually good sources of protein. And also include healthy fats into your diet. So it's okay to use a little bit of oil. Just try to choose an olive oil or a vegetable-based oil. And it's definitely great and beneficial to add nuts and nut butters to your diet. And remember that snacks can be whole foods as well. So examples of some whole food snacks are a slice of bread with peanut butter, 1 ounce of cheese with whole grain crackers, or even a couple tablespoons of hummus with vegetables. So in nutrition, there are a lot of possibilities or opportunities for setbacks. So let's talk about that a little bit. One main setback is eating out. So both fast food restaurants and sit-down restaurants are usually going to be high in calories and high in fat. So for success, you should reduce the amount of fast food to more than once a week and try to eat out less often, even at sit-down restaurants, and plan ahead. So take a time to go to their website, look at their menu, and find something that's healthier to choose. Just to give you an example of how one fast food meal can impact your day, your calorie intake for the day, fast food meals average 1,100 calories or more, and restaurant meals, sit-down restaurants, can be an average of 1,300 calories or more. Another possible setback is portion size, portion distortion. So portions have definitely grown over the years. 25 years ago, an example, French fries were 2.4 ounces and only 210 calories. And the reality is when we are served larger portions, we will eat larger portions. So portion control is definitely necessary for reducing calories. And it's really hard to exercise off the extra calories. So just to kind of give you an example, today's French fries are 610 calories. So there's a difference of 400 calories there. And in order to burn off 400 calories, the average person would have to walk 1 hour and 10 minutes just to burn off that calorie difference. And we know for a fact that we're much more sedentary now than we were 25 years ago. So it's hard to catch up with a large portion. Another possible setback is sweetened beverages. So that's another source of hidden calories. The average Coca-Cola has 15 teaspoons of sugar. So a 20-ounce Coke has 15 teaspoons of sugar, and a venti white chocolate has 18 teaspoons of sugar. Average American intake of sugar, added sugars that is 19 to 23 teaspoons per day. And that can add up very quickly. What should you look to reduce to, though? Truly, a healthy intake of sugar, added sugar for the day, is between 6 to 9 teaspoons daily. So try to eliminate, sweetened beverages as much as possible. If you enjoy them, then maybe enjoy only one beverage a day or just a few beverages a week. And the rest of the time, try to drink non-caloric beverages. Water is the number one choice, pure water. But coffee without added sugar and cream is another option, as well as tea, both hot tea and iced tea. Another possible setback is mindless eating. How many times do you find yourself eating your lunch at your desk or eating your dinner in front of the television? So when you eat, when you're distracted like that, you don't have a real good sense of portion control. If you're eating directly out of a package or a bag, sometimes that will increase your portions as well. If you're eating while consuming alcohol actually reduces your resolve to stick to your diet and to make healthy choices. And then emotions and stress can also be a distraction. If you're somebody who's an emotional eater or a stress eater, that may prompt you to eat a little bit more than you normally would. So add mindful eating to your plan. Try to eat your meals at a table. Try to remove all distractions. Yep, turn the TV off. Use smaller bowls or plates as kind of a cue to reduce your portion size. Slow down when you're eating. Take small bites and be sure to chew your foods thoroughly. A good trick there is to put your spoon or your fork down in between bites, because that forces you to slow down. Make better food choices more convenient. So that means setting up your environment so that the first thing you think about grabbing is that whole food snack like an apple or an orange, rather than the processed snack like your potato chips. Think about how you organize your refrigerator and make sure that the healthier items are on shelves that are at eye level, and put maybe the higher calorie items at lower levels, less accessible. And then if you're somebody who stress eats or eats due to emotions, find alternatives to eating when you're anxious, stressed out, or even when you're bored. And that can just be simple as writing a list of activities that you enjoy, posting it on the refrigerator as a reminder to do something else, whether that's organizing your house or going for a walk, or maybe engaging in a hobby or something that you enjoy, or spending some more time with your family. So a good way to just kind of visualize what a good healthy eating pattern looks like is to put it on a plate. If you've ever heard of the healthy plate or my plate, this is a good example of not only what our plate should look like for portion control, but also for nutrition and balance. So half of your plate should be covered in vegetables and fruit. And if you're trying to reduce calories, lean more towards vegetables and a little bit less towards fruit, just because they tend to be a little bit higher in calorie and natural sugars. A quarter of your plate should be devoted to grains, and try to choose whole grains at least half of the time. And the other quarter of your plate should be healthy proteins, so lean proteins, and also consider plant-based proteins like beans and legumes and peanuts and walnuts and things like that. And there are some visual cues there. So think of, a cup is about the size of a fist. 4 ounces is about the size of the palm of your hand or a deck of cards. A half a cup is about a handful, and 1 ounce is about the size of your thumb. And there's a beautiful plate of pork tenderloins, which is a lean protein, of brown rice, pilaf, and sauteed vegetables. That's a nice visualization of what the healthy plate balance looks like with real food. Another possible setback is not planning your foods, not planning your menu ahead. If you fail to plan, then you're planning to fail. So try to think about your week and meal plan at the beginning of the week. For a lot of people, the best time to do that is on the weekends, on Saturday or Sunday. But if your work schedule is different, then just choose a day during the week that works for you. The best way to think about it too, just to put it on autopilot, is to identify 5 different breakfast, lunch, and dinner options and just have those on regular rotation. You don't have to necessarily plan for the entire week, but just commit to at least planning for at least a day in advance. You don't want to go into the day not knowing what your meal plan is or where you're going to get healthy foods. And don't forget to plan your snacks as well, because that's one opportunity for a pitfall as well. So pack your healthy whole food snacks and make sure that's part of the plan as well. Always be ready for an emergency, because I know they come up. You may not have time to plan your meal, you may not have time to pack your lunch, but try to keep convenient healthy foods on hand. So they should be at work and at home. It's okay to use the occasional microwave meal in those situations. Just try to choose one that's as healthy as possible, low in sodium, lower in saturated fat, and just keep them on hand for those few emergency situations. We also have a meal prepping 101 webinar that helps with meal planning, so consider taking that as a future webinar. So, how many calories should you eat to lose weight? The answer for that is different for everyone, but a general rule of thumb is that women should probably reduce their calories to about 1,200 to 1,500 calories per day, and men can usually lose weight on between 1,500 and 1,800 calories per day. Now that can vary based on a number of things: metabolism, activity level, how much lean body mass you have versus fat mass. So those are rules of thumb. And if you find that you're not losing weight, or you're losing weight too quickly, or you're hungry on these calorie levels, then adjust up or down 100 or 200 calories a day until you find kind of a spot that works for you. Initially, it's helpful to measure and weigh your foods and read labels to make sure that you're staying within your calorie goals. But I know for some people that's not a fun thing to do. So, think of those visual cues. If that's something that seems overwhelming for you, or just think of sticking to the plate method, because that's a good way to at least get closer to that goal. There are a lot of resources on our website that can help you with your weight loss, nutrition resources. You'll find those if you go to the LiveWELL website, click on Prevention and Wellness, and then hit Weight Loss Program. And there you'll find approved weight loss programs. So if you feel like you need further support, you can look at Atrium programs or community programs that can help with weight loss. There's also an Eat Well for Weight Loss handout on that page. There's a healthy habits checklist and a BMI calculator. So those are all important resources that can help support your weight loss efforts. Outside of the Atrium system, that you can find a lot of healthy recipes online. One website that I refer to people to often is the eatingwell.com website. That has not only just healthy recipes, but it also has healthy menus, calorie controlled menus that you can follow as well. And those are free. There is an option for a subscription, but many of those are available to you free of cost. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about exercise, because the reality is that for successful weight loss, you're going to need to probably eat better as well as exercise and move more. Now, the recommendation for good heart health and general good health is 150 minutes per week. That breaks down to roughly 30 minutes, 5 days a week. However, research does show that it could take up to 60 minutes of moderate activity daily for weight maintenance. So not as important for weight loss, but consider gradually increasing your exercise to at least 60 minutes a day once you lose weight to maintain it. And that helps with that calorie difference. You have a smaller body now. It requires fewer calories. And so in order to make up for that difference of what you're used to eating, exercising more will help you burn those calories. How do you get started? Walking is a great way to start. Everyone can do it. It's low impact. You can also find ways to make activities fun. What things do you enjoy doing? What things do you used to enjoy doing? Did you play a sport? Is dancing something you enjoy? Try to find things that you will do, because the best exercise is the exercise that you will do. If you like, you could buy like a fitness device or tracker to help with accountability. Or you could also enlist accountability through a trainer. But activity is important for maintaining weight loss, something to remember. So let's talk about the different types of exercise. So a well-rounded exercise program would include aerobic exercise, strength training, balance, and flexibility. So aerobics should be done at least 5 days a week, strength training at least 2 to 3 days a week, and make sure that you do something to engage all the major muscle groups in the body. And then flexibility and balance should be a component of pretty much every workout that you do. Just as important as exercise is physical activity throughout the day. So we are much more sedentary now than we were in past generations, and sedentary lifestyles are kind of the new smoking in terms of impact on health. So think about how you can incorporate more activity into your day. Parking further away, taking the stairs instead of the elevator. A good rule of thumb is to go up at least when you just have one flight of stairs to go up the stairs, and going down two flights of stairs or less, take the stairs instead of the elevator. Make sure to take breaks throughout the day. Don't sit at your desk all day long. Set reminders to get up and walk around. Or just stand, maybe stand during conference calls if that's something that you can do. Just spend less time sitting as much as possible. And you can even find ways to incorporate exercise into your regular workday by just having maybe some light weights or exercise bands in your drawer, and just taking a moment to do some resistance training during the day. So let's talk a little bit about tracking and self-monitoring. And some people love to keep records and some don't. But the reality is that a lot of research shows that tracking what you eat at least 6 days a week can actually help you achieve twice the weight loss compared to somebody who doesn't track. So it is a great tool to be more effective with weight loss. What should you track? You could track whatever you'd like, but food and water is definitely an important component. Exercise is a nice thing to keep track of as well. Weight is a good thing to track, but not too often. I recommend not doing that more than once a week. Try to choose the same day and the same time of day, preferably in the morning, because that'll give you a more accurate weight. And similar for clothing too, because remember your clothes weigh something too. So the fluctuations that you have from day to day could be very frustrating. So once a week is plenty. And then look for other ways to measure success, like taking your measurement. So maybe just doing a waist circumference once a month to see how that's changed. Because many times, especially if you're incorporating exercise into your routine, you'll see loss in inches before you see loss on the scale, because you're building muscle and burning fat. There are a lot of tools out there to help you with tracking and self-monitoring, and a lot of them are free. So MyFitnessPal is an app that you can use. Lose It is also an app for tracking, and then Choose My Plate has an online tracker as well. So let's talk a little bit about support. Having the right support can help you through those difficult times. So identify where you need support. Do you need an exercise buddy? Do you need somebody to share meal ideas with? Can it be somebody that's just in your life today, like a teammate or a friend or a family member, or do you need more structure, like a weight loss group, like Weight Watchers? Or you may enlist the help of professionals. So if you're somebody who has a health condition, you may very well be able to work with a registered dietitian for medical nutrition therapy. And remember that also counts for an incentive of a physical well-being incentive if you complete that. But other programs too that are accountability, but not necessarily medically supervised, are things like Weight Watchers and other online groups. And for people that have like a stress eating or emotional eating concern, you may even want to look into reaching out to your EAP and finding other ways to deal with the stressors in your life instead of eating. So what will help you be successful? Just a quick review of the things we've talked about so far. Remember, motivation and readiness are important, so write those things down and consider what goal really makes sense for you right now. Make sure to set some clear goals around weight and behavior change. Choose a plan that's sustainable, something that you can stay on for the long term and not just a quick fix. Avoid some of the common pitfalls and setbacks that we discussed in terms of nutrition. Get the right kind and the right amount of activity. Track yourself for success and seek support. Now, we'd like to think that if you include all those things, that weight loss would be a nice straight line to the finish line. But unfortunately, there will be some setbacks. So just prepare yourself and know that a lapse is not necessarily going to have a long-term effect on your success. Okay, so I want us to all take a moment now to create a SMART goal. And I know we've all heard that term SMART goal, and that stands for being specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time-bound. So think of a small habit that you can change, something that you can accomplish soon. So something that you can do in the next 1 or 2 weeks so you can get started right away. It could be based on nutrition, it could be associated with physical activity or exercise, or it could be stress management if that's something that has an impact on your weight. But here are some examples of what a SMART goal looks like. So maybe you want to eat less sugar. That's a great goal, but we can make it SMART by saying that you want to cut regular soda from 24 ounces to 6 ounces per day and add 20 ounces of water 7 days a week. Maybe your goal is to move more. That's a great goal to have. We can make it SMART by saying that you'll move 15 minutes. You'll do 15 minutes of walking a day at lunch, 4 days a week, starting next week. So we've got specifics, we've got measurable, and we've got time down there. So here are some references that you can refer to. And let's talk a little bit about the incentive. Again, you'll have to log on to the teammate website, LiveWELL, click on LiveWELL, click on incentives, log into your Total Health portal, click on personal well-being incentive, and then click on LiveWELL Wellbeing webinars. And here's a picture of what the form looks like that you'll be filling out. And here's the information that you'll need to complete that. So today's webinar is called Weight Loss Basics. My name is Tara Cox. The webinar code is TC0211. And you'll also want to make sure you have your SMART goal available to enter into the form as well. Thank you for taking time out for your health and wellness. Take care.